So I am very excited to have found this game. This is Waterworks, a game that I believe is come from Poland, at least a Polish developer, and I am very happy to find a game that is good, and I'm very happy to find a game that is educational. And rarely these two things go hand in hand. There are far too many. This isn't that educational. It's not like it's training you for an exam or something. But this is a game that has real world educational elements in it, and it is still a very, very good, well polished game. And those two things combined are, in my experience so far, a significant rarity. So I am super excited to have found this. I actually cannot tell you how excited I am. So let us look at the game before we jump in. Just a little bit. We'll look at the details about it. So it is called Waterworks, and it is by Script Welder, and it was made about 6 years ago. And it's crazy to think that that date is 6 years ago already. I mean, it's closing in on 6. It's not quite 6 yet. It's 5 years ago, but still, that's nuts. Anyway, so reading the description here. Sorry, I clicked on it. I've kicked in the music. We are in a town called, and I believe this is the correct way to pronounce this name, Grudziądz, something like that. I don't know. I did look the pronunciations up. This is Polish. It is not an easy language for pronunciation. So yeah, I hope I'm doing it justice there. I don't know anything about inflection or anything like that. I cannot read Polish words. I mean, I can read them. I can't pronounce them. So what it is that it's a town. It's a medieval town in Poland. Well, I mean, presumably it's a modern town now in Poland, but at the time that we're playing, this is a medieval town in Poland, and in medieval times, water was very much an afterthought in city planning. So what our job is to do is to try and feed this town with water. We are the water manager. I suppose we've been put in charge of the process of bringing water to the town. We're going to do it the very basic way to start off with, which is basically just getting people down to a pier and getting them to scoop water up, and then carrying them into the town in buckets and carts and all of that kind of stuff. And then as time goes on and technology around Europe boosts up and sort of clever ideas come in, we are going to build better systems for moving water to people's houses, and hopefully it'll give you an appreciation of just how good the water supply is. If at any point you're touching on a modern water supply with pipes and pumps and taps, you are at the end of a long chain of technological advancements to get that water to you in a drinkable form. Presumably it's drinkable. I mean, you might be somewhere where you can't drink straight from the tap, but it is still a usable form. Right. I'm waxing a little lyrical because I'm still very excited by this game, and the music is fun too. So how we do it is we are given a deck to represent kind of the resources that we have available to us. It's a randomized deck. It gets shuffled all the time and handed to us. And we have to build cleverly to keep our reputation up and our money up. And reputation we earn by essentially feeding water to people, and money we earn by people, I guess, paying us and little bonuses and donations and things like that. You'll see the various processes as we go into it. And the time goes on, and it's turn-based. So you play your cards, and then you take your next turn, and the demand for water goes up, and you just get fed more systems to provide water to people. And that's the gameplay in a nutshell. And it does contain very accurate little historical facts in it, both about water shipment systems and about the town itself. And that's why I say there is a strong educational element in this town, but it is, in the best educational games, not something you have to confront or deal with. It is just something that gets fed to you through the gameplay itself, and that is the correct way to do an educational game. And I am so impressed and so excited. So well done, developer. You have made an incredibly good game here. Oh, there's actually a pronunciation guide over here. But that's fine. And there is a research publication paper. Is that for pronunciation? No, an archaeology research paper, I suppose, talking about how water is managed in medieval times. Yeah, and good music. Right, let's look at the options. The first thing we can actually do is go full screen. Then we have a language option. We can turn the music on and off and turn the sound levels up and down, which is fantastic. Well done, developer. Let's close that. We can also look at the credits, which gives us all of the organizations that this game has been based on, I guess. I'm not sure if the developer actually is working with these people or has just picked up this white paper and built the game from there. He's talking about patronage and things like that. That's actually really, really some very impressive credentials here, no matter which way you look at it. So bravo. Oh, they're all clickable as well. Bravo, developer. Yeah, again, full marks plus bonus for an incredible effort. So let us jump in. We'll show off some gameplay, and then if I have any room for critiques, because I really don't see much about this game that I need to nitpick at, we'll mention them at the end. But I think we're just going to play it for a while. We have different difficulty levels. We have easy, but you don't get achievements. And then we have normal, which is the way the game is meant to be played. And we've got hard and impossible that we need to unlock by completing the previous difficulty level in the traditional style. And we have a bit of a tutorial to teach us how to play. So the city of Grudziądz was founded by the Teutonic Order in 1291 in the northern part of today's Poland, on the Vistula River, surrounded by wetlands. You would think water wouldn't be a problem if you're surrounded by wetlands, but I suppose if you are surrounded by wetlands, you tend to build high up where there is more solid ground on a hill or something, and therefore getting to water is quite difficult, as you mentioned here. So we have a bit of a water scarcity problem, and we have been put in charge to solve it. And so we get our cards. Let's have a look at our UI just before we let the tutorial continue. Very top left, we have our options pages, where we can restart the game. We can undo a turn, which is very, very nice. All progress made since the beginning of the turn will be lost, but thanks to this you can undo any mistakes made. Okay, that's very cool. I love that. We have the turn number. We have the amount that the town's population will increase by. So every time we finish a turn, we will get added a little bit more pressure on our water supplies by one more person, and this number slowly goes up as we progress through the town's history. And as you can see, the towns are all just wood with thatched roofs, and there's one sort of solid roof, and that changes as time goes on, which is an incredible bit of detail that really wasn't necessary. Bravo, dev. Again, the high points scored. We have finished constructions, so we build things like a water source, and as time goes on they will be added there as we build them. We have the amount of money we have and the amount of money we will gain at the end of the turn, and we have the amount of influence or reputation we have and the amount it'll gain at the beginning of the turn, which is currently plus 0, but I think the tutorial is going to adjust that. Then we have the thing we're currently building, things that like extra little quests and things that we have, missions that we have to accomplish will appear just below that. I can't remember what goes there. And then here we have our cards. More things will appear, so we'll have a look at those as they appear, but that's the basic UI. So what he wants us to do is to build a water source. This is our starting mission, the thing that starts everything off. As we click on water source, we drag it to the middle of the screen. As you can see, the whole area goes blue, and we can drop it anywhere in that. So this is our action to build a water source, and it will cost us 5 gold and 0 reputation. Yeah, and it's red, which means it's kind of like a formal document, a building document. So we build it, it gets added to that little menu at the side. If I press X, it closes that, and I click on it and brings it out again. We can only be building one thing at a time. So here it is. I think we paid 5 to start building on it, and then we pay another 10 to finish it off. We can cancel the construction, then we get 50% of everything that we've spent back for it, so we still lose 50%. Clicking the X just sort of hides it away for that moment. It doesn't go away like properly. Even if we finish the turn, it still sits there and waits for us. Tells us about the thing that we're building here at the moment. It's just a pier by the river where people can go with with buckets and get water, but we still need to hire water carriers to bring it from the pier of the river into the town to certain areas. And now, these are the resources that we need to build it. We need a foreman, 2 builders, and a permit. So fortunately, as this is in the tutorial stage of the game, we have been given a foreman, 2 builders, and a permit. So we need this sort of the town authorities to say, yes, you can build this thing. Not all things need permits, but they are quite a frequent requirement. Right, so now that we have all of those resources, each of which cost money, so that cost 5 gold, those cost 3 gold each, those cost another 5 gold to add them to the building thing. But once they're added. I mean, we can close it and then open it up again. They're still there. We've spent the money for them. We've spent the money to start building it, and now it's just the final 10 gold to finish building it. And we have a water source. So it's a little pier with a man down it who is loading water into the buckets or barrels. So we have built the water source, but now we need water carriers, so the people who will carry the water from there into the town. We need to hire those as well, and their cards have been added to our deck. That's our deck down at the bottom left, and these are the cards that we have played down the bottom right. You can see there's only 5 cards in the deck. Once we have played all of those cards through, each turn we get dealt, I think, 4 cards or 5 cards, something like that. Once we've played all of the cards, then the deck gets reshuffled, and we just cycle through the deck in the usual sort of card-based game method. So very, very smooth. Construction complete. Cards used in the construction removed to the discard pile. You will get them back eventually when your deck runs out of cards. New cards have also been added to your deck. You can expect both stacks by hovering over them. So over here we've got 5 cards, which are 3 water carriers, 1 quarters, and 1 increase in funding. Here we have discarded cards, which is a foreman, a builder, and a permit. Now the create water source card does not get added to our discard deck. That we just used. We consumed that card to build our first water source. I think we do get another one. I seem to remember there being 2 piers, or maybe we expand on it. And then we have other water sources that we build. But yeah, so there are certain cards that you only get to use once, but I assume the game will supply us with enough of those cards to do all of the things that we need to do. And it's just the cards like people and building materials and permits and things like that get cycled through our deck over and over again. So now we have our informational sources. Oh, that's right, that's what's up here. We have the ability to show and hide supply and demand. So if we click on that, we get all these numbers over each sort of block in the city. As you can see, each block has a demand for 1 water. That's what the little man means. The population is a demand, so each one of those requires 1. And then the tiered, the blue drop symbol, that is what we're actually supplying to that block. And as you can see, that's all 0 because we're not supplying anything yet. So the little face is kind of meh. There is an angry face, which is where we will lose influence, and there is a happy face in which we will gain influence. But the meh face is kind of, we have a little bit of tolerance. So if we're 1 or 2 below the demand, it might just be 1. Depending on I suppose the levels or percentage, then we don't lose or gain any influence. People are just kind of a bit grumpy about it, but then don't worry about it too much. So if we have multiple water above the demand, then they're super happy with us and we gain influence. If we have multiple below the demand, they're really mad at us and we lose influence. We can click this again to make that go away if we don't like it. Then there is another thing that will appear here, which is where we get pipes and wells essentially to supply around the town from a more pressure-based water source, and that will appear there but much later in the game. So yeah, we've played all of the cards that we can, that we've been given at the moment, and our turn has ended. We've built a water source, and as we saw there, people are going to kind of be meh about it. So we end the turn. Oh, and we get 5 coins per turn, but that's kind of our budget from the government. But we do get cards that we can play to try and increase that, so we get more base money per turn. And then if we get our influence up to 100, every extra point of influence, well, every extra 2 points of influence we get above 100 will also give us some money. We'll get some coins for that. So we want to keep our influence as high as possible so we can get some extra cash to work with. But for now, we end our turn. the first thing that happens when you finish the turn is you get 5 coins. So that's our money from the city, basically, for being the water manager. This is the currency into our budget from taxes or what have you. So we get that into Jing, we get our 5 coins. Now we earn or lose influence points. So now it goes through each block in the city and gives us kind of checks to see if we're going to get any influence points. Everything was just 0 because nobody was impressed with us, but nobody was too mad at us. And now every turn the population goes up slightly. You click that. I think it just chooses somewhere randomly in the city to go up. So that's meant to represent some kind of, tradesman starting a trade that demands a bit more water, like a leatherworker or something, I suppose. Or maybe some people have had some babies and now the babies need more. So this is now an unhappy face. The next turn, if we don't supply some water to this area, we will lose some influence from that unhappy face there. So, and then we get delivered some more cards. As you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3 water carriers that we can supply at certain points around the city. We have the ability to build quarters, which we'll see in a moment. And then we have an increase in funding. We can spend 25 influence and get some coins. So, so we can spend 25 influence and get 1 more coin every turn. So this is like a permanent increase to our per turn funding. But we have to spend some influence to do it. I suppose we've gone and spoken to the mayor or whatever and said, "Oh, where's my funding? I need a little bit more." And he's gone, "You've been doing an okay job so far. We're very excited by you. Here's some money." And if we don't have enough influence to buy it, we can't buy it at that point. So let's get our influence and funding. We'll spend our coins. Now you see it's threatening us here. We will get a -2 influence because of this hand here. So what we can do is we can then use our water carrier and drag him to somewhere. So if you can see, if we put him on a particular block, he will give us two water points. He will supply 2 water points to that block, and then on every sort of adjacent block on the cardinal points, he will then supply 1 water point too, because he's just kind of on that side of things. Now what we want to do is, this one has a demand of 2, so we'll put him on there even though we lose 1 cardinal points worth of water requirement. Let's just stick him there, and so he will turn that to 2, so we're happy. These ones now all get 1, so they're now meeting their demand, so they're also happy. And as you can see, our influence has gone up to 4 because we're getting those 4, and that's him trundling around there. So if we mouse over kind of the border of that block, well, if you mouse over him, we'll see the border of the block that he is supplying and the plus numbers that he is supplying to those areas. So we have more than enough funds. We can start supplying other blocks here. This split in half block is really annoying because, as you can see, I'm not giving it to that block, I'm just giving it to this one. It is quite annoying. But let's slap that in there, and I'm going to actually put another one over here. There's another split in half block over here. That's also very annoying. And we can move them around. Okay, so this thing is telling us we can move this guy if we want to. So we can tell him to go work over there if we want. We can use that button to sell things. It's just a tutorial telling us that. So if we build a well and then we want to sell the well, we get 50% of the currency back, and we get the materials or whatever that the well or whatever it took to build. It's not a button I've used an awful lot. I think I had to use it once. So yeah. So we have learned the basics. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this guy back here because I want him to be there. I don't think that costs us any money to move him around. So we have a moderately well supplied city for now. Now what we can do is build quarters. So as you saw, we got a bunch of worker cards, like a foreman and builders and things like that. If we end the turn, then we lose those cards. They go into the discard pile, and we have to wait until the whole pile has gone through and gets reshuffled, so we don't know when we're going to get them. But if we build the quarters, which we are going to start doing, so I'll spend the 10 gold and put them in there. If we build the quarters, then the workers we can kind of keep in storage, because it will allow us to keep 4 of the yellow cards in there. We also get one that will allow us to keep the red cards, and one that will allow us to keep blue cards. Blue cards are like building materials and things like that. And we'll get the ability to make them larger. That only holds 4 to start off with now, but we get increased levels which will allow us to keep an extra for each turn. That is absolutely vital. We need to do this, which is why I've put that in there now, even though I don't have any workers. And as you can see, once we have nothing else that we can do, the game has decided we can't do anything else at the moment, it will glow this yellow. Not always accurate. If you've got stuff in storage that you can use and things like that, sometimes this doesn't know about it and it will glow yellow anyway. But for the most part, the glowing yellow means there's nothing else to do other than click that. So we're going to get 13 reputation and a bit of money, and we're doing well. Oh, and there's a demand there. So a fire has broken out somewhere in the town. You need to sound one of your water carriers of any kind to put it out. So this is a random chance thing that can happen, and we need to basically consume a water carrier to resolve it. The water carrier will then go back into the deck, and the deck will have to be shuffled to bring them back out, and we'll get them back again eventually, but they will be gone for a while. So there's the fire. Do we have any water? We have no water carriers here, but we do have a water carrier here. So we will lose, unfortunately, all the reputation that we have there. We consume the water carrier, and the fire has gone, but we won't be getting as much reputation at the end of next turn. But we do have the ability to build our quarters. So we have a foreman that is needed, we have a builder that is needed, we have another builder that is needed, and we have a permit that is needed. So that we can now build the quarters. Cha-ching, tells us about them, and that is all we can do. So we can end the hand. So that's the quarters up there that we can now have up to 4 people that we store. We've been using all the people we've been given so far, so we haven't needed to store any, but now we can store some. Alright, so we got some money, we got some reputation, and we got some people. Now we can build an archive. So the archive is like the quarters, but it's for storing read documents like this archive document. Yes, it is also just as necessary. You can see what it will require here. It will require 3 scribes. If we only have 2, and 1 permit, and we have no permits. But I'm sure we will get one soon. So let's start building that. It will go into here. We can put in the scribes that we have for now. And that's it. That is all the things we can add to it for the moment. So we need to wait for another scribe and a permit. There's 7 cards in our deck, so 1 scribe. I don't see a permit in our deck. There is an increase of funding, so we might have to wait until it gets shuffled through, unfortunately. So it'll be at least 2 turns away, but it doesn't matter. That can sit there and wait, and we can put our 2 builders in our storage. So now we have them in there. We can very easily get them out whenever we want. If you just right click them, they'll go into there as needed. Yeah, and we don't spend anything for them. They just go into storage there. So the next time we need to build something, we will have them waiting for us. And you can move them out and replace them with something else if you decide you don't want 2 builders, you only want 1, but there is a foreman or something that you want to store. So it is very, very flexible, and I love this game. A lot of these things in this game are flexible in the way you kind of hope they were. So let's end our turn and see what the next turn brings us. We get some money, we get some reputation. That one's gone up by 1, so they're back to going meh. So now we can get an increase in funding, but we cannot because we don't have enough experience. We do have a water carrier, so let us put the water carrier back into the town and make everyone happy. So that's fine. We have a warehouse that we want to build, but unfortunately we're busy building this. Oh, that's frustrating. So we can't finish this building, unfortunately, because we don't have a permit. We can't keep our foreman, unfortunately. Oh, no, we can. We can keep our foreman, so we can add him to our stack. We can't keep our increase in funding, unfortunately, because we don't have this thing that we're trying to build right now. So these are going to go through until the discard pile, unfortunately. And our next turn, okay, we get another water carrier and we get another builder that we can store. So we'll probably have everything we need. Also requires a permit. Anyway, so these 2 things we're going to have to allow to go through into the discard pile, which will be our warehouse, increase in funding. Let's just see if we can see them there. Alright, so we've got a nice chunk of XP there, and our last 2 cards have been dealt to us. So in here you can see there is our increase in funding. There is our warehouse and all of our other stuff. Hopefully we'll get that fairly. Hopefully we will get the permit first. I think that's the only thing we're missing here, right? It's just the permit. Yeah, hopefully we'll get the permit first and we'll be able to build that and then store the other things if we aren't able to build them. Right, so let us put our water carrier in here somewhere. This guy requires 2, so we'll slap him in there. And here we can actually move. Let's move you to there. Yeah, let's move you to there. Okay, so we're somewhat oversupplying these 2 areas here, but they were the high demands one. Or maybe, actually, let us move you to here. That's fine. Alright, so we have plus 13. I think that's good. I mean, you can sit here and fine-tune the positioning of all these guys as much as you want to try and get the maximum influence, but I think as long as nobody's unhappy, you're doing good. And we can put our boulder into storage, and let's reshuffle the deck. Okay, it's a good boost. Oh, that's now gone up in demand, but we're doing fine with those. The deck gets shuffled. Okay, so we have our permit. We can slap our permit in there, and we can build our archives. So now we can store red documents as well. Oh, we have another water carrier. Nice. Where should I put this lad? He's on 2, he's on 2, he's on 2. I don't want to put him here because he'll be wasted, but there isn't really anywhere else better to put him. He'll give us 2 there, 2 there. Yeah, there isn't really anywhere better for him. Possibly there. Let's put him there for now. We've got him on the playing field, as it were. We have spent the money for him. We can move him around. And let us build our warehouse. So we can build our warehouse. Cha-ching. We need a foreman. We need a builder. We need a scribe and we need a permit, which we don't have at the moment, I don't think. So we've got nothing in archive. Yeah, we don't have a scribe either. So that is all we can do with that for now. That's all the things we can do. Let us take the next turn. Oh, that's up to 3, so I'm glad I put that guy there. He's doing a good job. Right, now we can get our increases in fundings. We've got 2 now. But, yeah, no, that's fine. We can just spend all our influence on that. Our influence is still in the healthy plus 15. So we can sink it while we can. We have spent our cash there. We're up to 52. We can not build here because we don't have a scribe. That's really annoying. But we can put our permit in there and we can put our second permit in storage. And yeah, we don't have a scribe, do we? Nope, we do not. We can click this button to put them in order. So we've got 3 builders and a foreman. And we'll just have to let this builder go into the discard pile, which we have 3 scribes. There's all our scribes. And we don't have another scribe coming. We have a merchant's guild coming. So it's in the turn. Get some reputation back. That one's gone up, but we're still meeting that quite happily. So we just have 2 red cards here. We have another permit that we can store, and we have a merchant's guild that we again need 3 scribes to build. But this, I think, will also unlock other stuff that we need. So something to be careful about in the game, certain things that you construct will actually unlock things that you're not expecting them to unlock. So always try and build everything that you can afford to build as soon as you can build it, because it will unlock other things that will help you by boosting water supply and things like that. So it will make your life actually easier, even if it seems like a loss in investment to start off with. So yeah, always build everything you can, but we already have something in construction. So let's stick this into our red storage for now, and let the turn roll over. Going to shuffle our cards. Hopefully we get a scribe. And we can fill that building. Our money is going down and it will hit pretty low quite quickly. But what we can do is put our scribe in there and we can finish this off. So we can now build warehouses. What we can do now is start the Merchants Guild building while we have the resources to do it. We can stick a permit in there. We can stick 2 scribes in there that we just have at the moment. I think these are all the scribes that we have, right? Yeah, we don't have any more in here. Nope. Just this poor builder looping around. So yeah, we definitely want the Merchants Guild, even though it doesn't seem to have an immediate benefit for us. We are low on money, we are low on reputation, but we are gaining them both at a good rate, and we have no unhappy faces. So we are smiling. We can't store this guy anywhere. As you can see, the end of turn doesn't know that we can't actually do anything at this point. So we just have to... There's nothing we can do. There's a scribe. We can't use the scribe. Yeah, let's end the turn. We get some money. We've got all our things, cha-chings, used up there. Oh, we are now down into the negatives. I don't like that. But that's fine. Alright, we didn't get another scribe, so we cannot finish this. What we can do is we have now being given building materials, so we can put into storage. We can use this increase in funding. We are still keeping our reputation a little low, but that is required. Can we move any of our people around? Do any of them... See, that one's on 2, that one's on 3. Can we move you down to here? That made that unhappy. Can we move anyone up to there? Will anybody get too upset? If we move here... Oh, that's now upset. Alright. We're going to have to just take the hit of one of them being angry at us, I guess. Because if we move anything, someone will be upset. Alright, so we will lose reputation points over there. We're still gaining plus 12. We're still getting plus 9 coins. Oh, and we need to store this. This is something we want to do, so we get a better water source as soon as we can, but we're still constructing here. So let's put this in our storage and end the turn. Oh, we're getting less and less happy people at the moment, but now we have, I think, the ability to build this. So we can build our scribe, we can spend the money and do that thing, and yeah, so we get more donations and we get maps. We have the ability to build maps, and we need maps for some other building. So that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. So it says here that merchants also offer you plans that they build from afar that will allow you to perform cartographic measurements of the area surrounding the town. So it is the ability to make maps comes from this Merchants Guild, and we need that for some of our other structures. So beware hidden upgrades. Always build everything you can whenever you can. Let's put that away. Let us start upgrading our water source. We're short of scribes again. Okay, we need a foreman. We need a builder. We need a permit. But we are running out of money, so now we need a scribe. Do we have a scribe in storage? We do not have a scribe in storage. Again, we are waiting for our scribes. And we need 10 influence to be able to build this, plus 10 coins. It's quite rare to see influence as a building requirement for a lot of these things. So we need to wait for a scribe to come out, which we don't have, so we're going to have to wait, I think, 2 turns to be able to finish this. That's really annoying. All of our scribes are back there again. Alright, well, that's the nature of it. Let's just see what the next round brings. Hopefully not a fire. That's going up. Right, what are our options here? Okay, we have cartography that we need to do, and it needs more scribes, of course. Now we have a permit. How are we doing? We already have 2 permits, so I'm not going to put the permit in there. I'm going to put the small donation in there, because I can use that as soon as we have reputation up again, because I want to use the reputation that we do have to buy our increase in funding. The earlier the better. So we're now low on that, but we'll gain 10 at the end of the round. Now, we have also a small gift. We can spend 10 gold to get some reputation back. And that we can store in our storage as well. So if we ever need that, if we ever are desperately short in reputation, we can spend that 10 gold to get basically 10 reputation back again. Obviously, since we've just spent 10, well, what we want to use it for is to spend 10 reputation to get 10 gold. That will take us absolutely nowhere and just cycle through the 2 things. But yeah, so we've got it in storage for when we need it. There are a little bit of minor golden reputation adjustments as are required. Let's finish the turn. Okay, we're up to the double digits for our 2 things, and we have an archive which we do want to store. But let us get some more cash now while we can. Spend the reputation while we're able to. Which means, do we want the new archive? Or do we want cartography? I think we're about to get our subscribe. So let's start with cartography. Oh wait, we can't. Why can't we? What do we need for cartography? Oh, we need craftsmen. We haven't got craftsmen yet. Alright, so cartography, as you can see, there's craftsmen in the list, and it has a big red X next to it, and of course this card also has a big red X there that I just didn't see. So because of that, we can't actually spend that, because it means we don't have that card anywhere in our process yet. It needs to be unlocked at some point. Archive also requires an orders sigil, or sigil, depending on how you want to pronounce it. That same thing, it's something that needs to be unlocked and made available to us at some point in the future. We don't have that yet, so let's just put it in storage for now and see what comes next. We are busy building. We need a scribe, don't we, at the moment? So we should hopefully get a scribe in our next deal, and that will allow us to finish that off. So yep, okay, we're just up to 13. Oh, and our fire has broken out. That's really annoying. Alright, well, let's consume this lad down here for the fire, unfortunately. So now we have 3 things that are in the negatives, which is sucky to see. Why do you have 2? So you're supplying 1 there. Oh, and you're supplying 1 there. If I move you to here... Alright, at least we've gotten rid of 2 unhappy faces just for 1. That is the nature of it, unfortunately. But we have some coins, so what we can do is nothing there. Oh, what we can do is this. Upgrade our water source. This means I think that we have added more water carriers, 2 more water carriers to our deck, which is nice, and then the ability to build some other things. But there is little that we can do at the moment. Other than keep a scribe, I suppose. So what we can do is put a builder back here, and we can put a scribe in our storage, because we do need a lot of those, and I want to keep it. Let's end the turn. See what it gives us. Alright, we still went up a little bit of influence, but we are struggling. Do we get a water carrier? We do. Alright. I'm going to put the water carrier in there just to make the place a little bit happier so we don't get any more negatives. And we can do things like starting to build carts who will supply a bit more water, so it'll convert all of the water carriers into water carts and boost all of the numbers there. And yeah, it's that's how the game progression works. And you end up building structures that are big water supplies there that push water into pipes and things like that. And the game just keeps going and just keeps getting more and more interesting and more complex and more layers, and you have to do planning and management. And I am loving every minute of it. I played this for about 3 hours this morning. I didn't mean to play that long. I just couldn't drag myself away. So my recommendation is come and play this game. It is beautiful. It is a lot of fun. And the link is in the description, and it's free. You just have to click on the links and you will come and play it and read the information about it. So educate yourself on Polish medieval waterworks, which is a strange thing to want to educate yourself on, but nonetheless it is interesting and it is there, and you need to have a look at it. You need to do that. So that is my recommendation. Right. Just want to see now if I move this lad up there. No, we lose another negative face. We don't gain any happy faces. In fact, I think we lose one of those, but we lose an unhappy face. So it'll be one less negative count. Actually, if I move you across there, do you? No, you're already supplying there. Alright. What if I move you there? Okay. Interesting. And now I'm getting distracted again. This is the problem I'm playing with it. So, that is all the gameplay I'm showing. If you're just here for the gameplay, thank you for watching. I hope this has convinced you to come and play this game, because I would like everyone to come and play this game, because this game is stunning. It is rare that I find a game quite this polished and quite this fun and interesting, and like I said, educational to play. The educational games are often the absolute worst. People are not good at making them. So yeah, every time I find one that appears to be a good educational game, it gets me very, very excited. Yeah, so thanks for watching that. So yeah, if you're just here for the gameplay and you're heading out, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you are so inclined, if you feel that I deserve any of that. And thank you in advance if you do. I appreciate it. If you don't, well then leave a comment and tell me what you don't like. What do I need to do? Speak faster, speak slower, play my own music? I don't know. Yeah, let me know. If you are here for the critiques, well, UI is absolutely fine. Everything's themed well. There's good options. Full score plus bonus for the UI. Sounds are all fantastic. I love the music. I love the noises. Could do something a little more visceral, but that is more than counted for by the background sounds of the town and things like that. I mean, if we, for example, turn the music off, we still have like background sounds. It's like crows cawing and the wind and all of that kind of stuff. Exquisitely done. Bravo. Again, full marks plus bonus for the sounds. The artwork is absolutely fantastic. It is very, very nice pixely art. In terms of my personal preference, I like slightly more detail in the pixel art. I think this is maybe like a generation older than is my personal favorite, but I mean, that is, like I said, very, very much a personal thing for me. I think this is absolutely exquisite. Yeah, bravo, this is fantastic. So full marks for the art. Gameplay is really, really good, well balanced, well polished, interesting to play. If you are into management games and you're into kind of the card randomization here, this game fires all the fireworks. Yeah, absolutely love it. Immersion, on the one hand, the immersion is probably the only place I could have a little bit of critique, because I think it is fantastic. I know what I'm doing, I know what's going on. There's real world history here, so it's not even just virtual, sort of fantasy world history. This is real history that we are playing with. I think there could be a little more interaction with NPCs to kind of talk to us and explain things, rather than us just fiddling with these cards. I don't know. I don't know if I'm making it clear what I'm trying to do, what I mean here. But I feel disconnected. I feel like I'm just shuffling these cards and I'm solving these kind of logical puzzles, as it were. I don't feel like I'm actually dealing with a populace directly in person. So it would be nice if little faces popped up and went, oh, we're missing water, or not enough water in this area, or oh my god, there's a fire, something like that. Something to just put a bit of personality on the interaction with the game. That could be the only thing that I feel I'm missing is this is a logic puzzle game. It's not a real world bring people desperately needed water to drink type of game. So that would be, I guess, my only critique. The only thing I could nitpick in this game. I think it's not quite real enough in terms of emotions and people. It's just a little too disconnected. For all that the art is exquisite, and the little fine detail of the people moving around is exquisite, and the chickens crowing and the sounds of nature around us and all of that kind of thing. And that's it. That is my only critique. That is the only thing I could possibly pick on here. Do some cards. You want no scribes. Of course, now you don't want a scribe. And you don't even want a permit. Flip your neck. But you do want a building materials. And a foreman and some builders. I don't have enough builders. Great. Anyway, that is it. That is the only critiques I have. That is the only complaint I have. This is an incredible game. Please do well. Please build an even bigger, more fleshed out version of this game and put it on Steam. People will want to buy it. It is well worth buying. Make the town bigger or something. I don't know. However you would resolve it. I think it's glorious. I think it's glorious. I hope you're working on another game that's even bigger than this, and will have a Steam release and make you some money, because you deserve it. And try and make it educational, because you're the only dev I've found in a very long time who actually makes a good educational game, where the education is behind the gameplay, behind the fun of the game, and that's how you have to make educational games. So yes, thank you for watching, and that is it from me. Go and play this game. Link is in the description. Go give the devs some love. Hopefully they make more games. Goodbye, and see you in the next episode.